Hey guys, a few months ago, I reviewed a couple of these like micro red dots from Gowutar and overall was really impressed with their stuff. These are primarily designed to be put on pistols. You can mount them to a rifle, but kind of the design is a pistol. So anyways, I found out that they actually do have one specifically for rifles. The model is the HHC-B22. I think they just call it the B22 though. So anyways, I wanted to see if the quality was just as good as the pistol red dots. But I figured we'd do a quick unboxing, go over like all the features and specifications. We'll get it mounted to something, get to the range and see what it's like. So quickly going around the box, we can see it's got 1 MOA adjustments, 10 brightness settings, 8 daytime, 2 night vision. It's waterproof, shockproof, fogproof. Um, Designed to have minimum parallax at 100 yards, and it's got 2 different types of rail mounts in it. There's the other side. Nothing there. All right, let's get cut into it. We'll get it open up here. All right, so you got some padding up on top. There is a manual. Let's see if there's any illustrations or anything, or if it's just written. Oh, so there are some nice illustrations. Letters are pretty big. We'll look through some of this stuff here in a bit. Got a lens cleaning cloth. There's quite a bit of stuff in here. This looks like maybe a low profile mount. So the high one might be on there already. We got a couple different tools here. So they look to be star. So yeah, the one is a star shape. They're both stars on the ends. And then this is almost like a flat head, almost like a little pry tool on that end. Let's see, there's a battery, I think, down in here. And it is a CR2032 battery. And then we have the red dot and then another mount. And once I took it out of the package, there are some lens caps or lens covers with it as well. And it's actually a decently thick rubber on there. Those feel somewhat decent. So very first impressions, just pulling it out, is it actually looks fairly nice. I like how it is serialized. I like how they're putting their branding even on the mounts. The anodization feels really good, and I like how the optic and the mount actually match. I've had a lot of these where this will be like a shiny, glossy black, and this is more of a flat. This all looks really nice. There are not any type of turret covers. We'll go over that in a bit. And that one tool is your turret adjustment, I believe. That little flat head right there, that's how you'll adjust those. As you can see, it's not quite 2.5 inches long. Probably with those lens covers it would be. And it's about 1.5 inches, not quite, but close to 1.5 inches wide. And with the high-rise mount, it weighs 5.1 ounces, 5.4 with the lens covers. And it would likely be a little bit lighter than that if you use the low profile mount. This one typically weighs more than what that one will. So the B22 does have shake awake or motion activated technology. So basically, once we turn this on and activate it, we never have to shut it off again. So let's just say you put your rifle in the safe and it detects that it's not being moved for 2 minutes, the dot automatically shuts itself off. And then basically with the slightest bump, you grabbing it to go to use it, the dot will automatically turn on. And we will test that later and make sure that feature does work. With that included battery and with that technology, they say you should get somewhere between 40,000 and 50,000 hours out of that battery since it powers itself off automatically. It does have a 20mm lens, and the magnification is just 1. And the dot is a 3 MOA, and we'll take a look at that whenever we get the battery in it. Kind of quickly going around it, we have your objective lens up here, which is multi-coated. That allows more light transmission. You got your adjustments for your brightness. So you got a plus sign there. That's how you're going to turn it on. Hold it for a few seconds, and then change brightness up. This is for turning off and decreasing brightness. Again, once we use that motion activated shake awake stuff, you don't really have to mess with those anymore, but you can if you want to. Got an ocular lens. We got elevation adjustment up here, and we got windage adjustment here, and then our battery door. All right, we'll go ahead and get a battery in it. See what this feels like. That's pretty smooth. Doesn't feel gritty or sandy. See if it's got the O-ring somewhere on it. Okay. I think there's an O-ring right up there. The waterproofness is IPX7, so it is submersible. I think up to like a meter. All right, get the battery in. All right, let's power it on. So I'm going to push this plus sign for about 3 seconds, it says. And there's our dot. And again, it is a 3 MOA. It's kind of like, not the tiniest, but again, not the biggest dot. Let's go through some of the brightness, see what this looks like. So that is the brightest setting that I see. All right, now let's start coming back down. So that should be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we have the night vision, which we're obviously not going to be able to see right now. Let's go back up right there. I picked it up. So there is a nice range. The highest setting is probably going to be too bright inside here. You can see how it's like reflecting a little bit off the tube there. I think outside we won't see that at all. And just so you know, the emitter is right there in that lower right corner. And let's see if we can shut it off with that minus sign. Yep. That glass is very, very clear. Kind of letting you see here, and then like you can tell there's almost no color difference. A lot of these will have like a bluish or grayish tint to them, and that's almost exactly the same. It's very clear. So for my range testing with the B22, I am going to be using the high-rise mount, but just to kind of let you guys know the low mount that comes with it, something that has like low profile sights, like this here would be good for the low one. This is a little Ruger 1022. It would also, the low rise would be good on a shotgun. It would also be good on an AK platform. But you can see that it would put the sight, here instead of way up here. YouTube changes their policy so much, so I'm not exactly sure what it is on mounting, but I'm not going to show it on camera. But basically, I just took the provided wrench here and loosened up that screw. I'm going to put this over top of my rail and then tighten it back down. All right, so I got it mounted onto my MMP 1522. I typically run my flip up factory sights. I usually run a magnifier, and then I usually have a red dot. To keep everything mounted back here on the receiver, I'm either not going to be able to use the lens covers, or I'm going to have to go just one notch further. It'll still be mounted onto the receiver. Like right now, I cannot bring this back without hitting it. So if I remove the lens covers, I can bring my magnifier back over and it goes in place fine. But what I'm probably going to do is just go just one little notch out here on that handguard. All right, so that's what I ended up with, is I just went one notch over, and that's just part of the mount, but actually where it attaches to is still on the receiver. But doing it that way allows my lens covers to be on, and allows the magnifier to swing away freely. All right, so I'm going to test and make sure that shake awake technology actually works the way that they claim it does. Shuts off after 2 minutes, comes back on with any light movement. And then we'll get to the range, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts. All right, guys, out at the range here this morning with that Gowutar, the B22 red dot. I'm going to get it sighted in here. Just shooting some mini mags. We'll probably get close to 100 rounds through it. Make sure that it holds zero. Make sure that there's no problems with the dot flickering or shutting off or anything like that. All right, so after having the Gowutar B22 for a few weeks now and actually getting to the range and use it, kind of want to give you a few thoughts. I do think that it seems like it's very well made. Seems like it's pretty tough, pretty durable. The lens on it was very clear, no issues whatsoever with that. The dot is also very clear, very crisp. And for the price, so sometimes when you get in some of the budget ones, it can have almost like a starburst or like a halo. And I do have astigmatism in both eyes, but I didn't see any type of that starburst. Like it's just a single dot, very crisp. So I like that a lot. I showed the emitter earlier down here in that lower right corner. It's not visible at all when you're shooting. You do not see it. So I like that. I've tested the Shake Awake probably 30 or 40 times over the last few weeks, and it has worked every single time. I will look through before I move it and can see that the dot is off. As soon as I touch it, move it just a little bit, it comes right on. I showed earlier, it does come with the 2 mounts. So if you have a low profile or a low rise that you want to put it on, you can do that and then include the high rise as well. Probably one of my only cons with it is that you do have to use a tool to adjust your windage and elevation. And this works fine, but it means you do have to keep the tool either in your range bag or keep it with you. I actually always just keep a bunch of screwdrivers with Phillips and flatheads and stuff like that, so I can adjust it with these. Or I also have a Leatherman on me at all times. But you will need a tool to make the adjustments. Those turrets are not covered, and there's no caps or anything like that with a little tool built into them. So you do have to take that with you or something. So as you can see, I'm filming this on Wednesday, July 5th. The 2 or 3 weeks I've had this site, they've been hovering right just under $80. And the entire time, this 30% coupon has been available, which brings them down to the mid 50s. So that's a really good site for $55 or $56. They have also provided me a 10% discount code, which is going to be good until sometime in September, I believe. And I will put that on the screen here, and I will also put it down in the video description. They are also having a big Amazon Prime Day sale, which I think is July 11th and 12th. There's going to be even more discounts, like store-wide, like 20 or 30%. And you can use that code that I provided you on top of those discounts. So that's going to apply, I think, for all of their red dots, pistol red dots, rifle red dots. All the products in Gowutar's store will be on sale, and you can use that other 10% discount code. I've honestly lost track of how many of these tube style red dots that I've reviewed. It's probably somewhere between like maybe 60 and 70. And this is definitely one of the better ones. And it's coming in basically right around $50 or under it with that discount code. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with the little Gowutar, the B22 red dot sight. So, and I would highly recommend it. Absolutely. Especially for that $50 to $60 price. Yes, absolutely. If you guys got any questions or comments, just leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.